Let's go.
Information lap.
Yep.
Yeah, time to be serious.
Yep.
It's time to be serious, Arben.
Serious league race. There you go. That's the SLR. Serious league race. That's the one. As yeah. Anyway, I'm waffling, aren't I? I'm good at that. Let's go through his formation. His formation up then. Well, do you want to go for it? Since well, you are the main commentator for this race, but you know I'm just here as a side. If you want to go for the formation, that'd be fantastic.
Alright, sure. I don't really believe there is a main commentator here, even though I am streaming. We are working together to provide some of the best commentary possible in SLR. So, interestingly, Arben, I want to raise your attention to this. Everyone but 3 drivers are on the hard tyre.
Right, interesting.
So, yeah, Charlie is definitely going aggressive. So is Leah in the Aston Martin. He wants to try and make that 1-2 possible, but he doesn't have a teammate, so he's going to try and make P1 possible here today for SLR Ogween's sake, who is racing on Sunday in the McKeown division, by the way. Go check it out on Sunday night if you are interested in McKeown. And, yeah, here we go. So, JD Menz with quite a bit of a gap to Bad Otter, and that's quite interesting he's done that, because now what he's going to have to do is he's going to have to back off, which means he can't weave as much, and, you know, Sochi Clock hasn't even come through the hairpin yet, so he's going to have some pretty cold tyres for the start of this race. So, Menz' strategy, going aggressive on the formation, right?
He isn't a Ferrari, but to bear in mind that the Ferrari strategies might cross over into the game, but have to wait and see. Because the field's only just catching up now.
I can guarantee Jelly Menz was definitely a better strategist than Ferrari in real life, as everyone is making their way onto the grid for the Canadian Grand Prix. Sotia Clock just coming through the final chicane, and we can get this race underway here in Montreal. As here he is revving up his Alfa Romeo from the back of the grid. Let's see what he can do from the back of the grid. What can Jelly Menz do from the front of the grid as we are revving up towards the start of the SLR weekend here in Montreal, and it starts in Division 2. The green light is waving. We've got 5 red lights ahead of the drivers here. And the SLR weekend is underway in Canada, and Bad Otter gets a brilliant start from P2. JD Menz is getting swallowed up by the pack.
Oh, Menz took grass.
They're 3 wide. They're 3 wide there. Charlie barging his way through past Morris and Menz, but it's Bad Otter who leads the Canadian Grand Prix with a brilliant start. Morris is down the inside of Menz. He's down to P4, and McLovin, his teammate, is having a look as well.
Leah crashed into the wall when I think Leah hasn't front damage, or at least one car has damage in the midfield, and it's all kicking off. The Bodie is getting involved as well. But yeah, always more contact in the midfield. It's all kicking
Leah's
off.
round as well.
Yeah.
Leah's round as well, and that is a disaster for Aston Martin. That win is not arriving for Aston Martin here today, as Gordon Fryer is in literally the heat of the scramble here. He's down to P14. Sotia Clock has made up 4 places. Credit to him, but out in front, Bad Otter with a 1.5 second gap as Adrian comes back down the inside of the Alfa Romeo. Moley is really struggling to fire up those hard tyres, and he's definitely under pressure from Adrian and Clock behind. JMC in the points, but we're going to have to monitor his connection as Legend is trying to pass Morgan. I think Morgan has had a pretty good start as he's up into P6, so a very good start for him. But Bad Otter with a dream start here today. He's got a 1.7 second lead over SLR Charlie, who's made good progress on those medium tyres. So he's going to try and chase down the Haas as his sister Red Bull teammate of Aero Predators is in the pits, and for a new front wing and medium tyres, so his race is immediately turned on its head. It's very hard to keep it clean around here, and he's found that out the hard way as Otter continues to lead the way. Morris is trying to stay within a second of Charlie, but those hard tyres will take a while to fire up as JD Menz is looking to recover from what has been a disastrous start for the championship leader. His nearest rival is up into P2 and romping away from the Mercedes, so it's literally urgent for Menz to get past Morris.
Yeah, I think Charlie was the only medium runner that actually got a beneficial start. He just needs to start gaining on those on Otter though to make use of the yellow wall tyres. But if I'm right in saying Charlie's the only medium runner that gained positions on that one, I could be wrong. But he always moved the Ferrari switch, I think, or Men's tries to go for a move, and Morgan's out right on the back of the men's as well. As Charlie says the first lap of the race, but I believe Ferrari's just swapped. I could be wrong. I think.
No,
Am
you're
I
not
seeing
wrong.
things?
The Ferraris.
Okay,
The
yeah.
Ferraris have swapped. The Ferraris have swapped as yeah, the gap's still 1.7 out in front. McLovin has gained 2 places. Charlie's gained 2 places. I'm trying to see who's on the medium tyres now. Just trying to remind myself. Mash lost 2 places, and Leah lost 4. So yeah, you're right. Charlie is the only person who managed to gain a place at the start on those medium tyres. So he's the only one that has made those tyres work, as Mash and Leah are down the order, and especially Predators currently 16th, but Sotty Clock currently 13th at the moment after the first 2 laps, which is good progress in my opinion. You know, 3 places gained in 2 laps, pretty decent, as McLovin is chasing Morris, and he definitely looks like the quicker Ferrari at this point in the Grand Prix. Jelly Menz is really struggling to heat up those tyres, and that's exactly what I meant with him going really aggressive on the formation lap. He has to wait for everybody else before he can get going again, and that will cool down his tyres. And on an overcast track, you know, the track temperature is going to be a little bit lower than it would normally.
Because Morgan got very much actually came.
There's Morgan. Yeah, there you go. He's really struggling on traction as well, as Morgan is pressurising the championship lead. He's going to try and go round outside at turn 1, but he can't quite make the move. He set the fastest lap of the Grand Prix, in all fairness to him. So Morgan on the charge here, as he's looking to make those tyres work. He's definitely got him in temperature than Jelly Menz. But as I was saying, you know, it's yeah, first penalty of the race, active James C. But as I was saying, you know, it's very hard to heat up these tyres, especially in overcast conditions where the track temperature is going to be low. It's harder to find heat into the tyres, and Menz is finding out the hard way. He's down to P5, so he's lost 4 places, as Morgan's got a penalty as well. So we're 3 laps in here, and people are already getting penalties, and that might have to change their approach for the rest of the Grand Prix. So not ideal for some of these guys, you know, Morgan, Legend and JMC in the midfield, in the points paying positions, but now they're going to have to rely on a bit of luck and rely on a bit of a gap to maintain their positions, as Morgan is all over the back of J. Lee Menz here. Menz is in big trouble, and I think Morgan knows it as he exits the final chicane. He's got DRS, so does Menz. Menz has a lot more DRS, but Morgan is going to push this move all the way towards turn 1. He's side by side with the Ferrari.
All contact.
Down the inside, they make a bit of contact, but Menz is keeping it in there. But Morgan has the drive, and he's got the DRS, and he's through. SLR Morgan moves
Yeah,
up
the flag
to
is
fifth
that
place.
for? That's for the JMC, I think, in the house.
JMC has had a bit of an off. He was running P9.
It's damage as
now
well,
he's
from what I can
down to
see,
P14.
on his onboard. So that's not really ideal, especially starting on the hard compound tyres for the Haas. But yeah, crucial move for Morgan actually with the penalty. And although Menz is still right behind them, I believe. But you know, that's actually the other Ferrari of McLaughlin pressuring the other Mercedes of Morris for the final podium position at the moment. As Bad looks very good in the race. He's actually pulling away from Charlie on the slower tyre. So Otter clearly proving he has some race pace underneath that white and red has.
Yeah, so Bad Otter absolutely on it so far. And as you were saying that, we've got quite a bit of a train going on from Andrew all the way down
that's a warning for McLaughlin. Sorry, I just saw him cut the scan.
As Mash gets past Andrew for P8. So Mash has finally managed to clear the hard tyre runners, and he can get pushing on those medium tyres before they go off at some point, at least in the next 5-6 laps time. So yeah, Mash up into P8 as Adrian is really pressurising the back of that McLaren, and it's starting to rain. I'm seeing droplets on the halo.
Yeah.
And we might have a twist of the tail early on in this Grand Prix. So it's game on, surely, when the rain arrives. But for now, these guys are probably going to be pushing flat out to try and get as much track position as possible. But Adrian is desperate to clear the McLaren, who's got DRS off the AlphaTauri in front. But Andrew really dropping back here. You know, he was in Jeddah as well last time I commentated over one of his races. And he's dropping back again here. He's outside the DRS window.
The hairpin, that might invite, sorry to interrupt you there, but there might be a battle for P3, but I think Morris just about gets enough exit. He ran wide and I thought he's going to be in trouble, but he's got a good exit. What was the yellow flag behind? Who's that for? That's for Adrian. He's had a massive off there.
Adrian, he's had a spin.
Yeah.
He's had a spin.
Similar in qualifying, I believe.
Unfortunately,
I think there's something in quality.
yeah, unfortunately for Adrian, he's only going backwards here. But
Yeah.
the DRS trains
Andrew
now are
pits.
absolutely ridiculous. As Andrew is in the pits. It's a good call there, Robin. Andrew in the pits, and yeah, I think that might be on a Rage compilation, depending
That's
on
for front wing.
what if he's streaming it, and that's for front wing. That's for
Intermediates as well.
intermediate tyres.
Intermediates, yeah. Here
He's
we
got
go.
nothing to lose. He's gonna gamble for it. And meanwhile, out in front, Charlie has decided to. I'd say decided. He's starting to reel in Bad Otter. So this could be playing into his hands. You know, the medium tyres might have a bit more grip than the hard tyres.
And temperature as well.
If the rain gets worse, as McLaughlin gets past Morris for P3. So McLaughlin is absolutely on it here. As Morris gets a time penalty as well. So both Mercedes cars with a time penalty, which will compromise their races. And yeah, that is not great news for them. But they're definitely trying to push as much as they can to get the track position. But McLaughlin is up into P3. And he is definitely looking like the quicker Ferrari, as JD Menz is under pressure from LSW Legend as well, who's got penalties. So these guys who've got penalties, they're changing their approach and trying to be a bit more aggressive, as they might not have much to lose in this Grand Prix, as Legend could have a look down the inside going into the chicane, but he thinks better of it, and honestly, I agree with that decision.
Clock.
Because
Going side by side in the punch, came done with doing that, but Sasha Clock leads the position there, and Andrew's absolutely leaking time on the intermediates. He's lost over 2 seconds onto the car in front of him with Adrian, so yeah, this is very much too early for this green intermediate tyres, and there's a move for P12 between Leah and Mole down inside turn 1, and he actually cuts the corner for it. Vettel fans will know what that means at this track. Sorry to any Vettel fans in the chat, but yeah, Leah and Nestor Martin gets through into P12 regardless.
yeah, so Leah up into P12, passing Moldy. You said that he was going to be on the podium today, but it's still a long way to go, so you don't know what can happen as Andrew is
SLR,
back in
Timber.
the pits.
Anything can happen.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You never know what can happen in league racing as a whole, especially in Summit League Racing.
Oh,
Summit
Menz on the
Online
inside.
Racing as Menz sends it on the inside of Morris. I'm glad they missed out. This battle for the top
Legend as well.
is definitely heating up. Legend is going to try again. Jaylee Menz is not using the battery as Andrew's off at turn 2. Here goes Legend. Can he complete the move this time? Surely he can. Going into the chicane. The side-by-side Menz has to cut the corner. Thankfully for him, he doesn't get a penalty, but he's lost another position. It's not looking good for the championship leader as the rain continues to fall here in Canada. And it is not looking good for the championship leader. He's down to P7 now after starting on pole position. And the damage continues for him as Morgan, McLaughlin, Morris and Legend are all ahead of him. And meanwhile out in front, SLR Charlie is still reeling in Bad Otter here for the race lead.
Yeah, another yellow flag. Who's that for? That's for... Who is that for?
Adrian again.
Adrian. There's also picks up a penalty. That's the first key player getting a penalty. Or at least out in front. That's 3 seconds added on at the end of the race.
Now this could be a very important moment in the race. Lap 9 out of 35. 27 laps to go in this Canadian Grand Prix. And already Bad Otter has a time penalty. And now this might change Charlie's approach to catching up with him. Because now he doesn't really have to worry about getting into his DRS. Now he can just worry about being within 3 seconds off the car in front, and he'll get the position as Legend is on the move here in Canada. He makes another move, and he's past the first Mercedes of Morris, who I think was on the front row as well. I think he was in the top 3, but
and always
down.
That's Adrian again. He's really struggling in the Alpine. That's now his 3rd or 4th spin. I want to say.
Owen Fryer gets past Clock for P9.
Well, and Andrew's getting away the pack here. Andrew needs to get out of the way very quickly because he's just held up. I believe that's who is that? That's Morris and Menz. He needs to get out of the way quickly. As move also Menz might be able to get past Morris here as well. Maybe distracted by the McLaren in front.
Here goes Menz up the inside. Morris goes wide and then contacted. Menz is round. Menz is round and it gets worse for him. It gets even worse for JD Menz. He's been spun round by the Mercedes. They were both held up by Andrew and he spun again into the wall.
Oh, he's hitting his Leah.
Frustration. He almost hits Leah. In pure frustration, he spins it into the wall. And that is definitely big trouble. And the championship might just be blown wide open here. The opportunity has opened for SLR Charlie to cut the gap straight down.
Yep. It was 33 for the start of the weekend. We could be saying it gets a hell of a lot closer as we head into round 10 and onwards. But yeah, that is JD Menz having an absolute nightmare of a race after getting pole position. Absolutely awful for him. And very similar to Ferrari's actual season, now having good pace and quality and having the disaster of a race. And that has been transferred into the game. This is another yellow flag where Menz just crashes Adrian again. Adrian needs to stay on the track, mate. He's been about 5 times by now, and he's got out of the way the Mercedes as well. Just about that stuff. Was going to join the racing line.
He's staying out of the way. Meanwhile, Leah and Moley have gone for intermediates, and now this is surely the right time. You can see the track continuing to get worse and worse, and these guys are trying to keep it on the track. Adrian's struggled to do that, even on the intermediates. So we're definitely at the crossover point as Andrew gets a penalty for multiple warnings. I think that might be his second one of the Grand Prix. But the gap now is up to 3.6 seconds. So I don't know what's happened with Charlie. I think Charlie's made a mistake somewhere, definitely. As he's lost a lot of time there. He was lost 2 seconds to Otto, and now that gap has been cleared out.
Edwards going to come in. The rest is disabled. Otto's not come in. That might be a major mistake, and Charlie's in. Otto might have made a massive mistake staying out.
Yeah, everyone's in. Otto, mate, I don't know what you've done, but you've made a big mistake there. It's Morrison. Morrison, Legends, side by side, do them chicane, they're both round. They're both round. I think Legends in the wall.
Safety car, isn't it? Safety car.
No, he's in the pits. That was Andrew that was spun round. My mistake. We've got a safety car, and I was questioning why he stayed out, but that might be the best decision he has made in this Grand Prix. It's a free pit stop. The safety car has not picked up the race leader, and Andrew's undercut attempt has essentially been blown out of the water.
You mean, sorry.
And Golden Egg, Charlie's undercut. I don't even know what's going on. I'm losing my head here. Right. Charlie's undercut attempt has been blown out of the water here because the safety car has not picked up the leader, meaning it's a free pit stop for Fryer and Otter. So Charlie is going to find himself down in 3rd place.
Yeah, the only negative for Bottas for this is obviously his penalty. He's going to branch out the field again, but that's a small negative, and there are many positives. As I'm a poet, he didn't know it. As Otter with his free pit stop under the safety car, and this does mean, unfortunately, for Adrian and Andrew, they're now on a lap down, so they are essentially out of this race unless everybody retires, which I highly doubt it. So those two are going to be fighting for pride at the back of the grid, and it's interesting to see Egg Fryer, who of course was struggling qualifying in the wet, but this is a brilliant opportunity to gain some positions, although it is a very short pit lane in Canada, so we'll see what happens. And Otter, as we expected, comes out in the lead. Does Egg Fryer gain anything from this? I think he will. I'm not sure where he was before the pit stops, but I think he's going to be coming out P6, which definitely will be an improvement from where he was.
Yeah, that is definitely a good call there as he comes out of the pits. Sotia Clock as well. Remember, he qualified 16th on the grid.
What did I say at the start of the race, Simba? What did I say?
Hey, we're 13 laps in. Let's calm down a little bit. No, you don't know who's going to put it in the wall next time. You don't know that. You don't know if he's going to put in a wall or not. So, yes, he's made great progress, but there's still a long way to go in this Canadian Grand Prix, Arbin. You can't just assume he's going to carry on like this. He might bin it. I don't know. Hopefully he doesn't. He's made great progress so far, and it's only lap 13. Maybe things can calm down a little bit. But I think Maxwell just put in the chat, lap cars trying dive bombs. So I think Andrews does dive bombs.
Oh no, that's very controversial. Especially
been Andrew.
Especially if we said why he's come back from a race ban. I mean, I don't want to double down on him, but if he has caused an incident with a car that's on the lead lap, it doesn't break good for him, does it? I don't want to make any assumptions. He's out trying to unlap himself. Yeah, this is very dangerous. I'm not sure what we can do, but Andrew's living life on the edge as he comes into the pits.
Well, all I can say is he's put matters into his own hands.
Okay, well he's retired.
So, yeah, mate, I don't know what's going through your brain, but there's not much up there, is it? So,
no.
Yeah, you can't be dive bombing someone who is a lap ahead of you. Yeah, I mean,
It's a
led the
massive shame
session,
for
but,
Morris because obviously Morris is running quite a good position, I think, and now he's down in P9. He's got some, he's now got some quote unquote traffic to overtake the cars he wouldn't have, wasn't racing previously, and yeah, that's a real shame for him. But like we said, it's still a long way to go. It's not all lost for Morris, but it's a massive step back in what was a promising Grand Prix for both Mercedes.
it was. They were running fourth and fifth, and now they're fourth and ninth. So
Yeah.
SLR Morgan with a penalty. Actually, speaking of penalties, let's just run through them. So SLR Morgan's actually got 6 seconds of penalties. So yeah, Morgan will be in a bit of trouble if he can't build that gap to the cars behind by the end of this race. But still a long way to go, and it's definitely one of attrition and penalties. As Bad Otter, the race leader, is suddenly in a bit of jeopardy now because he's got that penalty. You know, 2 of the cars behind him, right behind him actually, are actually, without a penalty. So he's going to have to try and build up a gap to keep that race lead he's held since the beginning of the race. So let's see if he can do it. But yeah, thankfully things have calmed down a little bit.
We don't associate
Because it
that
was
phrase
getting
with
quiet.
SLR. we don't associate calm with SLR these days. But it's why we enjoy it. It's why we enjoy it. We like frantic races, don't we? Maybe not for the drivers, but as a spectator, we absolutely love dramatic races. So
Well, if you want a dramatic race, watch Division 2. Because they never fail to deliver
and Division
on a
3 as
Friday
well.
evening.
All of them, all the divisions. I'll be honest. Are very frantic. It's why we do this, and it's why SLR is where it's got to nowadays. Not for the incidents, obviously. Obviously, we want clean driving, but that the action is what we're here for. It's what you get to put onto Twitter and all the TikTok compilations and everything. All the drama. It's what we live for. As I'm waffling again, I'm gonna let you carry on.
No worries, Arben. That's why I'm here, mate. That's why I'm here.
It's safety car
I've got you,
period.
I've got you.
But we have to talk through a safety car period.
Yeah, exactly. So, no worries. As Arben notices he's waffling, apparently. I mean, if you think he is, put in chat as McLovin
Yeah, I'm
left
back.
the session.
On that.
Yeah, try and get him back in as quick as possible, because he's running third, and the last thing he wants is having a disconnect when he's running in P3 and looking like the quicker Ferrari driver at this stage of the race. But there's still a long way to go. 20 laps to go, and we've seen quite a
Safety car's
few
in this lap.
moments of chaos. And the safety car is coming in at the end of this lap. Let's hope McLovin can get back in the lobby and get racing. There you go, he's joined, so good on him. Go racing, mate. But he's going to go racing to try and beat Charlie, and this man right here, Bad
His
Otter,
AI was trying to
leading the
overtake
Grand Prix.
cars. I don't know what AI was. Okay, his AI was trying to overtake Charlie there. That's interesting.
Let's hope that's... Charlie, I think he's going to be fuming here.
Yeah, and McLaughlin's AI just
been
getting the
overtaken.
position. Oh no, what's going on here?
Oh, no.
Anyway, it's been Bad
Well,
Otter
I meant-
now leads the Ferrari, not the Red Bull.
I said go racing, but not before the restart. But here we go. We're going. Here in Canada, Bad Otter is all over... Oh, actually, never mind. I thought he was going. Now he's going. I've spoken way too soon there. And we are racing again.
Charlie down the
Canada,
inside.
and Charlie wants P2. He wants to get past the Ferrari. That literally...
Morgan as
overtook
well.
him Before the
Oh,
safety
Morgan's
car
been tagged by
restart. He ran
Legend.
outside. Morgan's been tagged by Legend, and they're down the order. McLovin and Charlie, and McLovin's
Leads
still
the
ahead
ball
of
as well.
Charlie. As he's all over the place. It's all kicking off. The field has spread once again. Lear's off at turn 2 as well, and he's got a penalty for colliding with Morgan. So Morgan, who was running fourth literally 30 seconds ago, he's down the order. McLovin lets Charlie through, and that is definitely the right thing to do because he gained that position, through
Simple.
AI. But unfortunately,
Simple. Sausage clocked at P4. He's escaped again. He's got McLaughlin in front of him as well.
McLovin, it's on 2 o'clock, P4. Well. The podium is actually right in front of him.
Yep. And Mash
I
as
did
well.
not
Mash is going to
notice
that as
that.
well because he's up into P5 and Men's back in the race as well, isn't he? Because isn't P10 no front wing? He's now right back into the swing of things. He's got Morris as well, all over the back of him. But
Well, Arben, he's had a tough race so far.
he has.
But there's 20 laps still to go, and it's moments like this, it's situations like this, that define your character in league racing. They test your character in league racing. Do you just try and push through and see what result you can get, or just complain and just complain your way to the checkered flag without, with the right mental attitude? So Jellyman's character, his drive, his determination is being challenged here so far in Canada. He got pole position, went down to P10 at one point without a front wing as Predators picks up a penalty. And now he's currently 6th with 20 laps to save his Grand Prix and make sure the points loss isn't too big, as Adrian, I think, yeah, he's had another off. So Adrian really struggling in these conditions. Out in front, Bad Otter with the perfect restart. 3 seconds ahead of SLR Charlie, who's lost. I think he's going to be fuming, because if that was me, I'd be fuming as well, because you've just lost so much time behind the Ferrari that overtook you because of the AI car. And he's going to have to work hard and try and catch up to Otter, who's been looking in these conditions as well.
This might have the massive snap on the edge of the hairpin. That's going to allow Predators, or Preds, as you know in SLR, might give him an opportunity, but yeah, I thought Muddy was going to spin it. It's just battling ahead of him as well between Menz and Morris, and Menz defends that position very well to the Mercedes. But actually he got a 3-second penalty on the safety car, I noticed, whilst that was going on. Just before the restart, he got a penalty for cutting chicanes, meant to go underway again. So that'll give Morris another penalty to his name. He needs to claw back later on. But Menz holds on for P6 for now. But yeah, that's my update on lap 18 as well, halfway through the race.
Yeah, so we've just reached half distance here in Montreal as Morris really pushing the limits of the track there as he brushes the wall at turn 4, as Mash is really trying to crawl his way through turn 7 there.
Flag.
He's got the championship leader right behind him. Adrian is still struggling out there as the gap is up to 4 seconds now between Otter and Charlie, as Menz is right behind Mash here for P5. So the top 5 is right in front of him. The podium is just a few seconds up the road, including his teammate. So will there be team orders coming into play? And Sotia Clock is currently P4 from P16 on the grid. But instead of looking forward, the championship leader might be looking backwards, as Morris is still applying the pressure on the Ferrari as they go through the chicane here. Surely Morris is definitely looking for one moment or one mistake, as he makes one himself, and that's got to frustrate him a little bit as he stays in P7, Menz P6, Mash in the top 5 at the moment. As lap 19, we've crossed half distance in this Canadian Grand Prix, and there's still a lot to play for here, so stay tuned. This will be a very, very entertaining second half of the Grand Prix as Golden Egg Fryer. He was P2. I think he was P6 a few moments ago. I think he might have been caught out in the restart, and he's down in P10 again. So, he's had a rough qualifying. He couldn't put a lap together at all as he loses the rear end through turn 6. And now he's going to be under pressure from Legend, where he made contact with Morgan. So Legend is looking to try and get his way back up the field, and his first target is the AlphaTauri, but it's quite hard to overtake around here without DRS. But Legend is looking to make it happen.
Flags, Legend again.
It looks like a good drive out of the corner. We've got a safety car.
Safety car.
And he was just about to make the overtake. And now he's going to be fuming. What's going on
He's
here?
overtaking them anyway.
He's have to give the position.
Okay, right.
No,
Nobody's retired.
But that's gonna...
Was that for Adrian spin? The safety car. That's
I think it was.
Yeah. Well, it's got no front wing, but he didn't retire, so... Oh, that's the safety car.
Well, he's got no front wing, to be fair, but...
Yeah.
Now another twist to the Grand Prix as Predators is in. He feels like he's got nothing to lose. He's going to put on a new set of intermediate tyres and see if he can get those tyres at the end of the Grand Prix if there is another safety car. So, good chance to pit, and Predators have taken that chance.
These drivers want to pit again, won't they?
Hands.
All those drivers make these intermediates go to the end. Chance for penalty, and Otter might gain from the first safety car, but he definitely hasn't gained from the second one. All his advantage has been taken away, and of course he's still got that penalty looming over his head. So he won't be happy with this safety car compared to the first.
Yeah, it's not looking great for Bad Otter. His lead once again crushed, as it was an even bigger lead.
It was 5 seconds, I think it was. Something like that.
It was 5 seconds. It was a stupendous margin because of McLovin's disconnection. So let's see if we can have a bit of a cleaner restart without any shenanigans with connection issues, as Otter is looking at the safety car once again, trying to keep his tyres in temperature, which is very hard to do here, as yeah, very hard to maintain track tyre temperature on these wet tyres. As lap 20, it's about to pass. We've got 15 laps to go in this Grand Prix. So I think we've just crossed, I think, 4/7 of this Grand Prix. So we're definitely into the second half of the race now, and there is still a lot to play for. It's definitely proven to be one of attrition here in Montreal to start the SLR weekend in Canada. And right now, Bad Otter has been controlling the race, but 2 safety cars have stopped him from making even more progress. SLR Charlie will be counting his lucky stars and hoping McLovin does not overtake him again because of AI. So it's going to be interesting to see who will get a good restart, and hopefully everyone gets through this time.
Yeah. So I'd like to point out, although there's been penalties, there hasn't been many penalties as what we think. I think there's been penalties for, multiple penalties for some drivers, but, as in, like, for everyone, been not that many, really. What we expected. I thought everyone would at least have 1 penalty by now, and all credit goes to the drivers, but 21 laps in, and less than half the grid got penalties, and some of them obviously got two or more penalties. I can get my words out, but yeah. That's just something I've noticed.
Well, fair enough, yeah. I mean, that's a good point. Yeah, the lack of penalties is actually quite a surprise, because normally this track is normally just really terrible for track limits. Personally, I really hate this track just because of the track limits.
Yeah, turn 3 for me.
It's outdated.
I cannot get through turn 3 without getting the warning every lap. That's when I've been practicing for this for McKeon on Sunday. But yeah, we'll see with that. As Leo's still trying to catch up to the train, I think that's what is preventing us from getting underway, I believe. The Aston Martin do pit for press 7 intermediates and maybe front wing, I'm not too sure. But yeah, point is to see, will these drivers get the intermediates to the end, or will we see another pit stop in this race for drivers? That's a big question mark over everyone's heads at the moment. So
yeah, that is definitely the main question of the day here so far, Arbin. Can these drivers, who stayed out on the intermediates, can they get to the end of the Grand Prix? Or they could be staying out because they might be anticipating another safety car.
It's a very good anticipation. Although it's a very good one, it's also a very risky one, because if it doesn't come, then your tyres might be finito at the end. That sort of 75% puncture range might be in question. Of course, we can't see the delta or the tyre wear of all these drivers, but I'd imagine they're trying to work out in their heads if these tyres can make it to the end or not.
Well, yeah, that's definitely going to be interesting to see if these guys can get to the end of the race on these tyres, because tyre wear is definitely a lot more abrasive and more aggressive on this game. For some reason, you didn't have to change the tyre wear, Codemasters. The tyre wear was fine before the patch, and you messed up the tyre pressures as well. So every week is a guessing game. Every week is a guessing game with the setup. But anyway, enough about me rambling about setup. We've got the safety car coming in at the end of this lap. Lap 22, we are going to get racing once again here in Canada, and it is Bad Otter in the Haas, who has led every lap so far, leads the way, and he's looking to do that to the end of the Grand Prix. 13 laps to go. I think we're in for a very exciting finish here.
I certainly agree. As Bad's going underway here, let's see if Bad Otter can get just a good restart as what he got on the previous one. This time, Charlie's going to be behind him, not a disconnected Ferrari, but Bad Otter, it's going now, it's going early, and it's a fairly good restart. Cat's trying napping maybe a little bit, but the gap maintains the same. But the Ferrari is definitely closer to the Haas, but no moves made in step one at the moment. So always, when Charlie one's right, that might give McLaughlin a invitation there. It's going to go around the outside of Charlie all over the pressures. I can't get my words out of how excited I am. Charlie defends the inside and just about keeps it, although the Ferrari's going to do a switchback, a lovely move. They can go side by side in towards the next corner, and the Ferrari takes it. And also Sochi Clock as well, making a move from the back of the grid. It might be on for a podium. They just by giving each other room and clock around the outside, I think makes the move. Yes, he does, and that is clock up into P3.
Sautia Clock is on the move as he makes a brilliant overtake to get into P3 in his Canadian Grand Prix, and Charlie is really struggling, and Mash might be looking for an overtake on the Red Bull as well, as Otto leads McLovin. It's up into P2, Clock is up to P3, we've got a car out of the race, and that is JMC out of the race, and that is another safety car.
That's number one, and that is Egg Fryer involved as well, I believe. He's on the front wing.
I think I've jinxed him. I think
people might pit, because then they can guarantee they go to the end. They might be wrong, but people might pit.
Yeah,
so, we'll see.
We'll see what happens. We've got a third safety car here. In the words of Arabic, we've got safety car on lap 23, and Morris is definitely going to pit. So he's going to lose track position, but he'll be on fresher tyres. Oh, he's going for the wet tyre.
Oh, I didn't see that coming.
He's going for the wets. He's going to gamble. He's going to take a huge gamble here for the end of this race. Is it time for the wets? Ogwin is saying Mash is in P5. What's going on here? I'll tell you what's going on.
Incredibly, he's driven very well. No, he's driven very well to avoid the chaos. I believe in his words, to be organised chaos will be his words on the chaos.
And speaking of chaos, Arbin, one man that's been pretty much caught up in it all weekend is Golden Egg Fry. He's on the intermediate tyres, and he's down to P13 when he thought he was making so much progress after the first safety car on lap 13. So another kick in the teeth for Golden Egg Fryer. And it's a huge shame, really, because again, you know, like I said earlier in the stream, I think he's a pretty quick driver, and on his day he can definitely take it to the likes of Charlie, Otter, you know, especially even JD Menz as a big point. But unfortunately, the luck doesn't seem to be there, and sometimes in league racing you need a bit of luck to go your way and get the results that you truly deserve, or you feel that you deserve as a racer myself. So yeah, Fry, you've still got time to get back in this race, but we're going to see what happens, because, you know, we've got, what, 12 laps to go, including this one. We're about to complete lap 24, actually, so 11 laps to go. I think we might have an 8-lap sprint.
Someone's in the pits.
In the Grand Prix.
Who is that in the pits? That's Moley. There's Moley going for the wets.
That's SLR Moley in the pits for the wet tyres. It maybe it's going to be for the inters or the wets, because this could be a huge change point in the Grand Prix, and those are the wet tyres. Those are the wet tyres. Adrian is going for the wets as well, even though he's a lap down, but he feels like he's got nothing to lose. So now the main question here is, will the wet tyres be the right tyre towards the end of this race? If it is, we're in for a hell of a race towards the end.
For those that are around season 7 calendar in the McKean division, you'll remember these exact same conditions of people pitting on stub wet tyres at the right time. And if I remember rightly, it was 2 Alfa Romeos, V-Trex Combat, and I believe it was Division, I believe, in the Alfa Romeo back then. And those two managed to get P3 and 4 just by pitting on the tyres and the safety car. And we won't speak up where I finished that race, but what we'll speak about is where on the tyres is the exact same situation as Canada season 7 in McKeon, and all Moley and Morris made the right call as Combat and Division did way back then 2 seasons ago. Safety cars in his lap.
We're going to find out if the wet tyres are the tyre to be on in these conditions, as the safety car is coming in at the end of this lap. The third time in the space of, what, 8 laps? We have got 3 safety cars in the space of 8 laps, and we're going to have a 10-lap dash to the checkered flag. And Bad Otter leads McLovin this time. Sautia Clock from 16th on the grid is 3rd right now, ahead of Charlie, who might have just missed his opportunity to get some good points on JD Menz. But Otter is going to lead the field once again, and we are going to get racing in Canada once again for a 10-lap sprint to the flag. If Otter can get rid of the limiter, we should be able to get going, and he's gone. He is gone, and he's left the front. Clock is going to have a go. He wants P2. He's on the comeback
contact,
drive. And there's a bit of contact there. There's a bit of contact. They're still side by side. McLovin makes another bit of contact with the Alfa Romeo. It's all kicking off already. And it's the first lap of the restart. But Sotia Clock in the Alfa Romeo is trying to make it into the top 2. He keeps it round the outside. They're still side by side. This is incredible action. But he's got the outside line. He's up into P2.
Oh, it's nice to hit from behind.
On the grid.
He
might have been hit by the behind. It's all kicking off behind him as well. They're literally 2 by 2 in the midfield. Jaylee Mintz is ahead of Mash. Morgan
he crashed the straight.
And oh no, he's on the wall. Mash is on the wall. It's game over for Mash. And oh no, Fryer's collected him as well. And we've got 2 more retirements in this Grand Prix. And chaos has ensued once again on the restart.
Danny side as well on the hairpin.
Charlie down into the McLovin, and we've got another safety car.
Oh, that's a 4-5. To be fair, I think that crash deserves a safety car. Of all the crashes we've seen so far, I think that one does deserve a safety car. But oh my days, it all started from who was it? It was Mash and who was it again? Mash and Morgan, wasn't it?
Men's.
Was it
Mash and Morgan, yeah, side by side.
Yeah.
And yeah, Men's is in. No, McLovin's in. McLovin is in. He's taking the chance. He wants the wet tyres. Morris is P8 on the wet, so this could be the time to go to wet tyres. And these guys have stayed out.
And Stimbox one.
Twist to their tail here.
Bad Bottas still has a penalty. It's off to the clock is in P2 right now. And what let's say at the start.
Again, you can't jinx him. We were so close. Don't bring up your prediction now. It's not the right time. We've still got 9 laps to go. And, you know, it takes one mistake for him to get out of the podium. So
it does. Yeah, I mean, I'd like to say about jinxing him, but Sausage Clock has done an absolutely brilliant job so far. And the keyword there is so far. It could easily turn, as we've seen for many other people's races, but as Jeremy Clarkson would say, sometimes my genius is almost frightening at the moment. As Adrian gets to drive through a penalty, somehow.
We're falling too far back. Mate, this game is unbelievable. Like, what do you want the guy to do? He's been a lap down for literally the majority of the race. Alright, that's just a kick in the teeth, and that wasn't even needed. But, yeah, sometimes the genius might be frightening, but, yeah, Golden Egg Fry has left the session, and that's not because of a disconnection. Understandably, angry. Very, very angry. As points again slip through his fingers in another
intermediates for some wet tyres then.
Weekend.
Or more people on the west. So
I think it's more people on the intermediates, mate. There's 12 cars left.
Yeah, but there's more people than before. That's what I meant. Sorry, I wasn't that bit of. I meant there's more people on wet sim than there was before. That's what I meant. So yeah, sorry for confusion, but that is definitely what I meant. Yeah. Anyway, enough about that. Yeah.
Yeah, enough of that. I don't know what that was, but cheers for the car.
A bit ET rushy at the moment. I must admit in my comms sometimes.
Oh no, I heard that. No. Oh my days. Yeah. Great.
Welcome back to Arbin, everyone.
Tier. Yeah, top tier comms from Arbin.
Yeah.
Definitely the best person in the Discord if you want to laugh with someone.
That's a very noble award. There's quite a few contenders for that award, I must admit. But anyway, as my voice just cracked, that sums up really. That sums up really, doesn't it? That section.
Yeah, it does. The last 10 laps have been something else.
Yeah.
And I don't think we'll even get a racing lap. We've had 4 safety cars.
I think that's the limit.
In literally.
I think we had a limit.
Last 15 laps.
I think Ballos is quite bored of the safety car restarts, you know. As in, there we go, he gets his chance to do another one, but this time, the guy in second place is the what's the word? The hot topic at the moment, Sophia Clark. I have a lot running on this man at the moment, but we'll see how he gets on in pursuit of the house in front of him. You also got to keep in mind that Charlie and Menz are also right behind you. Let's not count them out. You know, there's very good pace underneath them. So we need to get ready to go racing once again. 28.
Yeah, that's a good point you've brought up Charlie and Menz, because those guys are 3rd and 4th. Jaylee Menz finding himself back in the top 5. Not in the way he would have wanted to do it, but he's still got a chance to score another podium. But he's got to survive another 8 laps of the Canadian Grand Prix, and so does Otter, because we've got a 7-lap sprint to the flag, and away we go again in Canada for the restart. Is Otter ahead of clock? Ment is immediately on the charge, and he's ahead of Charlie. Legend is trying to pass Leah. There's a car off. That's Adrian moving out of the way for everyone. His race is done, and Legend is round, and Morris is as well. And again, these two have come together, and they've got to keep going because they can still fight for a points-paying position.
Oh, it's Morgan's
right
in the wall.
Now, Morgan's in the wall. It's an absolute disaster for Mercedes. AMG here today. They were looking at a top 5. Both of them were at the start of the race, and it's all gone wrong for Mercedes. They're definitely in trouble in terms of scoring points here today. I think it might just be 1 or 2 points. It is not another safety car. Yeah, good point there. Otter has a 2-second lead already. So we could be in for a finish here. Morris gets another penalty as Charlie trying to go round the outside of Jaylee Benz, who's found his way back onto the podium. And Charlie hasn't quite managed to capitalise on the opportunity he was given when Jamie Menz was down in P10. He's up into P3, but Charlie's not going to give up easily. He's got the ERS turned on. He's definitely trying to reclaim P3. They're side by side, the top 2 in the championship. Are trying going into the chicane, but Menz stays ahead and retains P3 for the time being. But Charlie will definitely want to outscore his rival here today. The gap is 33 points. And Menz, after everything he's been through in this Grand Prix, will end up extending his championship lead as Morgan is in the pits and he's going to go back onto the intermediate tyres. But some of these guys are definitely going to have to contend with Moley and McLaughlin because their tyres are a lot older than everyone else's as Charlie makes a mistake through turn 4.
Yep, I think I've noticed that the wets and intermediates are quite similar in pace at the moment. There's not much pace difference. Although McLaughlin does look very eager to get past the Williams. This is all at the back of him. And
yeah, he wants to try and make a move there, but he decides to think better of it. There are better
Leah
opportunities to overtake around him.
As last on lap 1, he's now got great opportunities to maybe overtake Charlie for P4, even if penalties might come into play later. But Leah is very much back in the game in the Aston Martin.
Well, yeah, remember, these guys are, well, I mean, I would say they're fighting for the win, but they're not, because
Otter's in his own world.
Otter's 4 seconds clear.
Yeah.
He's 4 seconds clear.
So
Charlie
clear.
is trying again. He's going to try and pass Menz. They're side by side again, going into the chicane. Don't collide, guys. Do not collide. Menz is still trying to keep it in there, but Charlie's through. A brilliant move from the Red Bull driver. He's back into P3, but Menz is going to try and come back at him. Going into turn 1. Lee is there as well. Going into turn 1 now. Menz stays behind, and surely the tyres are going off as well, Arbin, because these guys have been on for nearly 20 laps. And Leah, he's looking for the move. He gets a nice run going out turn 2, and he could get through here. He could pass the
contact in the rattle.
And there's contact again, but this time Menz doesn't get in the wall, but Moley ends up in the wall. Moley makes contact with him, and Leah was looking at P4, and now he's just trying to keep it on the track as Morris is in there as well. On the wet tyres, he's trying to make his way through the field as well. Let's see if he can get it done here. On the traction, McLaughlin gets past Moley. He's up into P5, and he wants to repass his teammate. And now Morris gets past Liam, maybe Adrian out of the race. And these two, they're locking wheels. What's going on here? Let's keep on the track, please. You're losing time to everyone else in front of you. But there's another safety car. 5 safety cars, and Otter's going to be fuming. He was 8 seconds clear.
Morgan drive through.
He was 8 seconds clear. Morgan's got a drive through, but that has surely ripped away the chance of him winning this race because of the penalty.
You say that though. Morgan has built a gap very quick. Otter's probably built a gap very quickly before, so he has to do it one last time.
He's got to do it. He's led 31 laps of this race.
And I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to say anything, but you know what I'm thinking right now.
Yes, I know what you're thinking. I know what you're thinking. He's in P2. He's got a chance to win, but we just need to see what happens.
Yeah.
We just need to see what happens, Arbin, before we say anything that might jinx anyone, because literally nothing is over in this race. It's not over until you cross the line at the end of lap 35. And we've seen quite a few drivers not make it to the end of lap 35 here so far. And we've got 11 cars running here. And, yeah, I don't know what on earth was going on there with Leah and Morris. I mean, they were locking wheels going through turn 9.
Great contact system.
Like, yeah, nice contact system.
Yeah.
Golden Egg Fryer. I'm not going to read out the message.
Oh no.
But, yeah, I'm not going to read it out because, you know, I'm not like that, but
It's
he's fuming.
it's the common
He's
phrase in
absolutely
Discord, head's gone, or he's gone, whatever it is now. Is that what you're saying?
No. I'm not going to read it out, but, you know, he's furious. He's speaking from a point of anger, so...
To be fair, we've all been there. I remember doing that. After the USA race where Elite Race took me on the final lap, I was very angry then. I started to pick up a penalty and the safety car, so that's not good for him.
Alright, so back to the penalties.
Yeah.
Now this is where things could get very interesting here, because some drivers could actually benefit from those in front. So, Bad Otter is the only driver in the top 6 to have a time penalty. Clock, Charlie, Menz, McLaughlin and Moley are the only drivers out of all the 16 to not have a penalty. And hopefully for them, for their case, I hope they get to the end of the race, because it will show everyone else that is racing this weekend that yes, even in changeable conditions, it is possible to get through the entire race without getting a penalty, which is very hard to do on a track as punishing as Canada on track limits, as Legend is serving his penalty now, and he's going to go back on another set of wet tyres. Let's see what he can do in the final 3 laps of this race, where we've seen quite a lot.
I'll go for the punches. 22 laps is a lot. Even with safety car laps, that's still a lot.
It is a lot.
Yeah.
So tyre wear is definitely going to be a part in this race for sure. And Bad Otter has led every lap of this race, but he's got to try and get a 3-second lead in 2 laps. He already opened up quite a gap in the previous safety car, but this is the 5th time he is going to lead the field from the safety car and get this result. Look at him, he's nearly trying to
waiting for Legend to
catch.
Legends was to catch up as well. Oh, so I guess it is in this lap. Okay. Right. Do you want to lead us away? You can do the honours if you want, Simba. You can have the crown, shall we say.
Cheers, Arvin, I appreciate that, mate. So here we go. 5th time, you know what they say, Arvin. 5th time is the charm. Not the 3rd time, the 5th time. 3rd time's overrated in my opinion, because here we are for the 5th time in this race. Bad Otter is going to lead the field away for the restart, but this time it's a 2-lap sprint. So we're in for a finish here. He needs a 3-second gap to keep the race win that he's been to get a race win where he's been leading for so long in this Grand Prix. We are underway again for the Canadian Grand Prix. Charlie is on it. No! Clock is in the wall! Clock is in the wall! Menz has made contact as well! More drama on the restart! Menz gets away with it! Where's Clock? Where is Sotte Clock? He's got no front wing! And he was so close to making the impossible possible, from going from last to first. Charlie and McLovin are going at it here for P2. The wet tyres are clearly fresher than Charlie's intermediates, and McLovin is going to try and make the move round outside, and there's a bit of contact again, and he's through. McLovin is through into P2. Otter leads, but he needs a 3-second gap. He needs to find another second, and it's all kicking off back here. Look how many cars are in the same picture. Legend just absolutely sends it up the inside. Here's up into P4. He's got a penalty. He's got nothing to lose. Morris gets through as well. Jaylee Menz is dropping like a stone out here. He's really struggling. He pulls off a desperate dive bomb, and he spun! He spun! Morgan hits him! I don't believe it! What am I seeing here in Canada? With literally 2 laps to go, and everyone is absolutely going for it. It's absolute mayhem here, and we're not done yet. We've still got 1 more lap to go. And Otter is not even, he's nowhere near the gap that he needs to win this race, despite leading it for the entire race. McLaughlin in the Ferrari could win this race if he just keeps on the road. But he wants the race win on track. He wants the race win on track. He's on fresher tyres. He's on the quicker tyres. And surely this has to be the move for the race win. Sometimes in league racing, sometimes in racing, you could lead the entire race and not win. Why? Because the last lap is the most important lap to lead in any race you're in, and Bad Otter is about to find out the hard way here.
Lewis Hamilton's 2021 vibes.
Literally, I couldn't have said it better myself, but this is literally it. This is literally Lewis Hamilton, 2021 vibes here. He's led 34 laps. He might not lead the last lap.
Oh, Legend on the inside.
Legend sends it up the inside. He wants the win as well.
Oh no!
Oh no! He spun instead! Oh no!
I love Division 2, it's so good.
But it's gone wrong. I don't believe it.
I'm worried he's going to get a podium,
no.
I think, with penalties.
I don't believe what I've seen.
I don't know.
We're coming towards the end of the race. Bad Otter has had every lap of this race, and he's in the wall! Are you kidding me? He's in the wall!
Because
it
the win.
matter, because the winner is McLaughlin in the Ferrari.
With the P2.
Molly is P2.
Oh, wait,
Otter
thanks.
drops to P3. Charlie, P4 for him. JD Menz is up into P5. But SLR Molly's on the podium here. Morris 6th, Legend 7th, Predators 8th, Leah 9th, and SLR Morgan, after everything he went through, he gets a point as well.
And
Oh
sausage
my
clown.
God.
I'm gutted for that man. I'm absolutely gutted for that man. Absolutely heartbreaking.
What on earth are we just seeing?
Division 2, ladies and gentlemen,
Division 2?
it's only the start of the week in SLR, but Division 2, oh my, I'm thankful that I decided to say yes to commentating this division. I need to do it more.
Well, I've said it before, and I've said it again.
Yep.
What a way to start the weekend in SLR. Yeah, it doesn't get any more chaotic than that.
Wow.
Wow, McLovin. Of all people, you know, it wasn't Menz, it wasn't Charlie, it wasn't Morgan, it wasn't Otter. It was McLovin in the Ferrari, winning the race. SLR Moley gets a podium for Williams. And Otter led 35 laps of this race and didn't win.
I finished P3 as well, not even P2.
That's cruelty. That is pretty cruel.
Let me get the people at the
He
party.
got the fastest lap as well, but yeah, get these guys.
I need to see
party, man.
what these guys think of that. Wait, who is it again? I've forgotten already. It's okay, right? Yeah.
Alright, it's fine. See, this is why I'm here, mate. I've
Yeah.
got this. Alright, okay. So I'm getting the top 3 in. I'll take Otter and McLovin, and you take Moldy.
Okay. Oh, have you gone through the whole grid yet? Or
Yeah, no, I think it's we just need the top 3.
yeah, no.
But
Yeah, that's fine. Right.
McLovin, Molly, Otter, Charlie, Menz, Morris, Legend, Predator, Leah, Clock, the top 10, Morgan 11th, Adrian, Fryer, Mash, JMC, and Andrew, the guys who failed to finish the race. There was only 16 races here today, but it was chaos from the first lap to the last, and I believe we've got almost everyone in the party except Molly. So
I'll try and invite him.
Yeah, try and get him in here.
I've been waiting.
But,
I've been waiting to say that the Panthers 16th me for ages. Here it is, 16th.
Yeah, like literally 16 people in this race.
Yep.
And 11 finished, and it was chaos from the first lap to the last. But we're gonna start with Bad Otter, as we wait for Molly to get into the party. Otter, great qualifying. You've qualified second, and you led every race, but it's only P3, so it's a very bizarre situation. But oh yeah, okay. For you guys, just make sure you tick your boxes as well.
Yeah, tick your boxes, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Otter, talk us through your race, because you were leading the entire race, but at the end of the day, it's P3.
Yeah, thanks for
What are your
reminding
thoughts
me,
on
yeah. I'm gutted. 5 safety cars. Every single safety car was like a personal insult. And yeah, I got 3 warnings on the like this second chicane exit before the hairpin quite early on. So I had that 3-second penalty quite early on. And I know I'm quick around here in the wet. I don't think anyone can say I'm not, because I was every safety car restart, I was pulling away. And I thought, okay, that's enough safety cars, maybe we can get away now. But nope, just kept coming and coming and coming. And at the end of it, I think the only thing that really stopped me from winning that race is the wets were better in those last 3 or 4 laps, so the guys behind me on wets could catch. But yeah, I suppose, you know, I'd have taken a P3 if you give me at the start of this race, but to lead every lap from you know, turn 1, yeah, really
Well,
yeah.
well, you know, it's still a podium. You know, you had really great pace throughout the entire race. So do you think that win will arrive for you in the coming race?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I won Canada last year in the wet, you know, so I knew I could win it today. And I've looking in the future, there's a couple of like strong tracks, but I think in the drier there's a few people in this league are just quicker by you know, 5/10, 4/10. So yeah, that was probably a good chance to get that win. So we'll just hope for some rain, maybe Singapore, something like that.
Oh, cheers, Otto. Very, very cruel. A glaring example of how league racing can be so cruel, because you literally win every race, but every lap. But on to P2 with Molly. Arvin, you want to take over, mate?
Yeah, well, first of all, I want to say my commiserations to Otter. First of all, you know, very lucky for you, mate. Yeah, as we move on then to P2, SLR Molly. Never really, I don't think you mind saying this, never really looked like a podium contender right till the end, you know, stuck in the midfield and obviously qualifying P10. Just describe the madness that was going on and your perspective and how you managed it in the end, obviously being on the correct tire at the right time, getting up into that P2 position.
It's just showing that slow and steady always does come out on top. I just let everybody else dive one another and do the stupid erratic driving they were doing, and just prepped on past when people hitting one another. Nothing special really, just try to keep it straight and now without getting any penalties, and there you behold, it works again.
Yeah. Well, it's fair to say managed to do that. I don't think he get a penalty at all. So, you know, that's, you know, very random under. Yeah.
Shows how slow I was.
Well, clearly you want that slow because you managed to get a P2. You know, you have to be there. You know, it's all good to have no penalties if you're not in the fight.
As you said, it's about being on the right tire at the right time. I was about to say it was CSC Morris that went to the wets first, and me and Max followed suit. We were all talking about it, thinking it could be the way to go, and it definitely proved to be the way for the last 3 to 4 laps, as Otto said. The wets just had that bit more grip out of the traction zones, which allowed us to get where you needed to be.
Yeah, and well, and as also didn't help that, you know, some drivers from 20 laps were intermediates, which obviously helped your case, but they didn't take advantage in pit. So yeah, congratulations on your P2. What's next for your track? It's Britain, isn't it? I could be wrong.
Britain, yes.
Yeah. So what's your thoughts for the Silverstone circuit, and can you see a repeat for podium, or what do you expect?
No chance.
Yeah. You never know.
I'll only do a heist of the century podiums when people are having races like today. I'm not going to be up here very often. I'll enjoy it while it lasts. Britain, I normally hate it, but with doing some of the testing, I've done it a lot at the minute, so I'm feeling better than normal. But still, I'm not going to have the pace anywhere near Otter or Max or half the guys in this division. I'll just plod along, take P10 and see what happens from there.
Well, you say enjoy it while it lasts, as I think the saying is. But yeah, once again, congratulations on your P2. We're now going to hand back over to Simba McLaughlin for his brilliant P1.
Well, here we go then. McLovin, congratulations. I think it's your first win of the season, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's your first one in Div 2. But what a way to get it. It was quite a chaotic race, so talk us through your race, man. I mean, It was unbelievable. You just made that overtake when it mattered on lap 34. But talk us through your race, man.
Well, first thing is fucking Otter has too much pace on that track. No way I was catching him, so I feel sorry for him because he was just too quick on them wets and in the dries. Went hard to start. Thought it was going to be a while till the rain came. Then I heard 5 or 10 minutes. I was like, you are joking, Jeff. Carried on, a few safety cars, and then on the last, I said, on the second to last one, I said, if there's another safety car here, I'm 100% going wets because there was so little people left in the field, and because obviously Boris had tested him and he said, these are the ones. So I was like, go for it. As soon as that last safety car came out, my mind was set, went for it. A few people crashed on the restart, and then all I knew was I didn't want to take out Otter because obviously he drove so well. So I said I'll just stay behind him and just take the P1.
Well, it's your first win of the season, I think. Do you think there'll be more victories to follow for the rest of the season? Do you think you can try and mount a title challenge to Men's, Charlie, etc.?
Well, I said at the start that obviously not many people knew about me, but I just wanted to give it a go for the title, see what happens. First 2 races, first one I missed, second one I crashed out in like the 5th lap. That hasn't helped me, but just keep getting points, and why not? Go for it.
Well, thanks, McLovin. Congratulations on your first win of the season, and that is all we've got time for here for Division 2. A chaotic race with 5 safety cars. It's nothing I've ever seen before in my short time of commentating league races. But I hope you guys enjoyed that. Congratulations to the top 3 for a brilliant show to start the SLR weekend. Catch up to the rest of the races going on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday for the other divisions. And next Friday, 8 PM, is Silverstone, where these guys are bringing it home. And we'll see what happens there as well. So, hope you enjoyed that race. Go follow SLR on Twitter and subscribe on YouTube. And until then, take care. I'll see all of you in the next one. Goodbye.